Hey, how's it going? Checking in for today. I had a good meeting this morning with Andy again, looking at some of the things we need to put in place for the performance program that we're putting together. Been some really good developments with that. It's looking more likely than not that we'll be doing something with this first company, and Andy's got two or three others lined up to have meetings with in the new year as well to talk about it. So the great thing with this, actually, as we discussed this morning, was that it's really focused our attention on it, and we've taken it from an idea to something that's almost at the point where we can actually go ahead and deliver it. So even if this doesn't come off with this company, and it's looking likely, as I said, that it will, but even if it doesn't, we've still had this opportunity to really focus our attention on it. So that's really positive, as are some of the other opportunities that he's got, as I said, lined up. I love working with the guy. He's great fun, and we go back a long way. So it's good to actually be collaborating with somebody to produce something like this. That's going to be a really high quality product. It's going to be something that will be really, really beneficial to those who take part, and kind of excited to have the opportunity to do that. It's one of the things I love about coaching is when people actually embrace it and they sit up and they take note and they actually implement. They do things differently because of what they've learned and what we've talked about in the coaching sessions. It just that's what does it for me, and that's what gets me up and going in the morning. Is the thought that I'm going to have an impact. I've got the opportunity to make a difference in somebody's life. So actually being able to work with organizations where I've got numerous people to work with on that same thing is a really good, it gets me very excited thinking about that. Plus, obviously, all the other opportunities that I've got and the other things that I'm involved in at the moment as well. That said, I also this morning had something back from one of the solicitors firms that I'm, as I mentioned last week, that I'd pitched my idea to another firm. So I've got one firm taking it on board, doing it. That's happening second week in Jan. Another firm were interested in it, and there was some good synergy there. There was some good, great connection, and they came back to me today to say that actually their HR team, because it's 8 sites around the UK, they're looking at other providers for doing something for wellbeing. So clearly they're doing something for wellbeing in the new year, but not necessarily with me. So immediately my brain goes into, oh well, they're not going to pick me. To then thinking, okay, well, there's no reason why they shouldn't pick me, and I have no idea exactly what they're looking for, how far down that journey they are. So it's good to be in the mix. And as I said before, I never count my chickens before they hatch anymore. So I was never looking at this as being a done deal anyway. So that's all fine. And I've spent a bit of time as well working on some of the actual programming, the delivery and content. So that's what I'm about to sit down and do for another hour or so now. And the final thing is today I've been writing a lot about, I put an article up on LinkedIn earlier on about how my process for reviewing the year that was and planning for the year ahead, this whole learn and lean system, which isn't really something that is a proper system, though it is now. It's something that I've just evolved over the years, and I kind of add bits to and take bits out, and I do things slightly differently each time. But actually, I've got what I think is a really neat system for learning from the year that was, and putting goals into place, not just for what I want to achieve, but who I want to be in the coming year. And I look back over this year, and I've talked many times on these videos how instrumental these videos have actually been in helping me grow into the person who I want to be, and actually how much I've learned about myself, my own mental toughness, my own resilience, my own resourcefulness and determination, and agility, and being able to adapt and stay absolutely focused at the same time on the goal. And actually this whole goal that I set up at the beginning of the year to establish myself as a professional motivational wellbeing speaker, I put a number with that. I put the number of, I wanted to do 20 talks, 20 paid talks this year, and I've fallen a long way short of that number. I need to still add up exactly how many I have done, and decide whether I'm going to include things like my comparing at the Walk the Night event earlier on in the summer. In that number, I think I probably will. But actually, despite all that, I still very much feel like I have established myself in my own mind, which is the most important place for me at the moment to be. As that is now a part of my identity. That is who I am. That is what I do. So box ticked, goal achieved. And looking at setting things up for 2019. Now this year hasn't gone the way I'd hoped it had gone, but maybe that's the clue there is in the comment, the way I'd hoped it would go. I didn't really have a big solid plan. And certainly there was nothing really I could have done differently with that at the beginning of the year. I had to have the ambition, I had to have the grand goals without really knowing exactly how I was going to achieve them, but just knowing that I would. And the only difference between what I set out to achieve and actually achieving it is the length of time that it's taken me to get there. And I'm really confident that 2019 is actually going to turn into the year that I'd hoped 2018 was, and more besides. And I think that period of growth that I've been through over the last 12 months has only made me a stronger individual, more resilient, more robust, but also kind of learned a lot more about what I can really achieve when I set my mind to it. So I put that up on LinkedIn earlier, and I put it out as an email as well. The second half, I did the first half yesterday, where I talked about the learn from the year that was, but then lean into the year that's coming up ahead. And I'm really looking forward to spending some time doing that. And I just wanted to share my process, my system for doing that. Hence the article on LinkedIn. So anyway, there's my check-in for the day. A little bit of work still to do today before I close out for the weekend. And I will, of course, be checking in tomorrow with any more progress updates. It's going to be more of the thinky stuff, note-taking, prepping work for the week ahead, the final week before I start taking things a little bit easier over the Christmas week as well. So there's my check-in for the day. I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.